Welcome to this edition of Canola TV, featuring the latest information on producing and marketing winter canola in the Southern Plains. Canola TV, a service of PCOM, Producers Cooperative Oil Mill.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another edition of Canola TV. Mighty pleased to be along with you today. And joining us is John Stotts with Winfield Solutions. John, let's talk a little bit about getting that 2013 canola crop in the ground. It's time to be thinking about planting pretty soon. Tell me about, first of all, the varieties that Croplan's got this year.
Yes, sir. We've got 3 varieties. Start from the earliest maturity, 115, 125, and then 154 is our hybrid. 115 is probably the best for the first-time canola grower. It's really forgiving, tolerates low pHs where guys can't afford to lime on rent ground, that kind of thing. You're going to give up a little bit of yield potential. 125 is a little higher yielding. Doesn't handle no-till quite as well as 115. I really don't want to see it no-till at all. And then 154 is your fullest. It's going to be 7-8 days later than the 115, the 125, so it's the full season maturity. Want to push it the latest we can on the planting window. So if you're starting, middle of September, start with the 115, the 125s, and then the 9th or the last day you can plant the 154. Limit your nitrogen, fall nitrogen with 154. With those hybrids, you have a lot more vigor, a lot more growth in the fall. We want to limit that as much as we can, so we push the planting date late and we limit that fall nitrogen. Just put down enough to get it going and then top dress in the spring with the 154.
You were telling me that your supplies this year are looking pretty good.
Yes, 125 and 154 are both great supply. 115 is getting a little tight, but it's still manageable. But definitely, if you're thinking no-till, and for sure low pH, let us know as soon as you can, because we need to get those orders in.
Well, what are you hearing from producers this year as they think about planning for next season?
The moisture certainly helped in the last few days, but insurance just came out. The price looks good, so I don't think there's going to be any kind of issue there. Last year there were quite a few acres of canola in Oklahoma. This year we're thinking maybe double. That might be a little optimistic, but there's going to be a lot more first-time guys and a lot more guys that tried a little bit and are going half the farm or a significant part of their rotation. So things are looking up, certainly.
John, as we think about getting ready for the 2013 crop, obviously you've got, as you mentioned, some first-time canola producers or guys that have planted just a small amount up to now. They're trying to make a bigger commitment. What are a couple of things they need to really keep in mind? You mentioned fertilization already. What are some things they need to be thinking about as they put the canola crop in the ground this year?
If they're first time, you need a little bit more nitrogen than you do typically with wheat. 15 to 20% more in. You're also going to need some sulfur. I wouldn't rely solely on a soil test there for sulfur. Just plan on putting down at least a 1 to 10 ratio, and preferably a 1 to 5 ratio of nitrogen to sulfur. So you're going to definitely need some of that. If it's a no-till guy, residue management is key. If you can burn it, that's the best. Dragahera, one of those vertical tillage tools, something to get that residue out of the way. It's going to be a big deal because we got some 60-70 bushel straw out there from the good crop last fall. But that's key, is managing the residue.
If somebody wants to talk more about the varieties that y'all have got available this year, the 3 that you've got from Winfield Solutions, how do they get a hold of you?
You can go to croplan.com and find our dealers. Winfield.com will tell you where we're at, but that's how you do it.
Very good. Appreciate your time today. John Stotts joining us today from Winfield Solutions. I'm Ron Hayes for Canola TV.
Canola TV, a service of PCOM and produced by OklahomaFarmReport.com.